Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another month here of Fire Girl Cup. Fire Girl Cup number 9, the playoffs. I'm, of course, your ZvP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to an event that did occur last week. For those that remember, for those that are curious, previously we were covering the HSL, the Hispanic StarCraft League. At the time, we were committed to that broadcast. Unfortunately, it overlapped with another event that we usually cast as well, with Fire Girl Cup. So alas, we weren't able to cover both at the same time. Now we're here to catch up. We're here to catch up. Of course, it was a couple of days ago that we did catch up on the group stage, and honestly, it was intense. It was a lot of fun. Again, we had players like Strange rising up and having dominant performances, as to be expected, as he is our reigning champion, and also some others as well, rising through the ranks through the group stage. Some players fell, some players did rise, and now we're here in the playoffs. We're here in the playoffs once again, catching up. But for those that are curious, this is a monthly tournament. Every single month there's a Fire Girl Cup, and a big shout out to ZvP, as ZvP, he does organize this event on a regular basis for the past 9 months. Again, ZvP for a long time was solely a player, solely a competitor, but nowadays he does now do a lot of casting, a lot of streaming, team games, still competes as well, but also runs tournaments, also does host events as well. Let's go. Here we go. We are going to be jumping into this, and for now, we have our initial matchup, our ZvP. We're going to be jumping into YoungYakov versus Shameless. We're going to be jumping into the upper bracket quarterfinals. Let's go. Best of threes. Best of threes moving on forward here. We have best of fives upper bracket finals, best of 5 lower bracket finals, and best of 5 grand finals. Sorry, best of 7 grand finals as well. Until then, we have our initial best of threes, and we are jumping into our first game of the broadcast. Let's go. Let's go. Have our initial PVZs here, and coming into this, Shameless and YoungYakov, I mean, they're both strong competitors here when it comes to the CIS region. They both do pop off, and it's gonna be a harder one to call here. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. As I said, Lintus, of course, it was Shameless who I say relatively recently, I think it was at the start of the year, like back in February, back in January, but Shameless did come second place, did come in the runner-up of Fire Girl Cup, second only to Wayne. And even when it came to the group stage, we saw that Shameless was one of the only players to actually make Wayne bleed as well. So Shameless, he's a very strong player in his own right. Of course, he has been on the rise over the past, I want to say, year, maybe 2 years at this point. For those who are unfamiliar, Shameless is a very young player. I think nowadays he's around 19 years old, very young, but has been on the rise, especially in 2024. He was kind of like the rising star of 2024, a younger player, younger face to the competitive scene, and did achieve quite a lot in 2024, in that first year, rising through the ranks. I think it was in 2023 that he had hit GM for the first time, so just really impressive performances there, as he's kind of risen towards the upper echelons of Protoss, at least in the CIS and European region. At the same time, YoungYakov has been around a little bit longer, but it was, I want to say, last year, towards the end of last year, that YoungYakov, he returned. If you recall, he sort of retired for a time. He did step away from the game. He did take an extended break, and then he came back, and he has been coming in full force. You can definitely argue that YoungYakov is, I was gonna say, the strongest Zerg player in the region, just because Wayne has been less active. Like Wayne, he has been less active than he used to be. Wayne, I would have said maybe was securely 5th best Zerg player in Europe. Like just behind a Laser and Lambo is where Wayne would usually be. But in recent months, in the past like 6 months or so, Wayne has been less active, and YoungYakov has risen up instead. Of course, that culminated in their best of 5. Wayne and YoungYakov, they did have a best of 5 grand finals match in Fire Girl Cup. I want to say number 3. I think it was just before, I think it was December of last year-ish, where they did face off. In the end, YoungYakov did come out on top of that best of 7, and then I think it was the month after that where Wayne brought down YoungYakov in a stronger series. No, sorry, I remember. It was the month after that where YoungYakov didn't get to have a rematch against Wayne because it went down to UD Soldier. YoungYakov, he had some issues in PVZ, or in ZvP. Did have some issues. But of course, that was at the start of the year. Now we're a couple of months in, and here we go. here we go. For now, we do have YoungYakov setting up, going for his third. Again, Hatch Gas Pool, droning, getting to his third base at the same time. Shameless back at home, going for his own Gate Cyber Expand, or Gate Expand into Cyber Core. Tech of choice going to be Stargate. Shameless, he isn't really one to deviate too much. We should be expecting Stargate openers into third bases, into +1 and Blink. We shouldn't really be expecting Glaive Depths or even Charge Base play too often. Oh, but never mind. We open up with a Void Ray. Okay, Void Ray is on the way. Now, I'm always reminded of that Wayne Shameless series, and basically what happened in that series, every time that Shameless got to get into a comfortable 3 and 4 base setup, he won the game. He was actually able to dominate Wayne in that series and have a stronger showing. But if you recall, where Shameless struggled against Wayne is at a certain point, Wayne he just kept goal laning. He just started and he never stopped all laning, like game after game after game in that series, and that is where Wayne found more success. Whether it was 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins, Shameless had a bit of a harder time defending and surviving against that. It was still really close. We had some really clutch almost holds and really clutch attempted defenses, of course, from Shameless. But Wayne did break him in the end. We'll see how YoungYakov will approach this though, because we do have an Eva Chamber first. This does scream +1 melee. Oracle dips in. A will throw in the middle line so far. Oh, taking a lot of hits though, taking a lot of damage. Does not get a drone. I believe 1 drone barely goes down. The Oracle has to get the hell out of here, and yes, it is going to be +1 melee. So this is the first sign of a more economic build. +1 melee leads into laying a Hydra. Typically, when you rush into +1 melee, you skip the Roach Warren entirely and you set up for a longer game, and this makes plenty of sense on Amygdala. Welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is one of the largest maps in the tournament map pool. Actually, I would say the largest map in this tournament map pool. Because of that, longer rushes by ground, much more defendable bases as well. This map is known for a longer and later game, and YoungYakov is setting up for that. Ooh, as the Oracle goes down. Yeah, did fly too close to the sun. Massive pick off here. Shameless will lose the Oracle. He will lose the Adepts as well, losing quite a lot here early on. This isn't game ending by any means, but this is brutal. Two Oracles? Oh. I believe the Oracle that was in the top right hand corner also went down as well. Brutal losses here for Shameless. That should not have happened, and just like that, Shameless, he's down. He is foregoing any kind of map control and any kind of scouting information as well. Shameless, he didn't open Void Ray, did cancel, did go into the Oracles, and behind this Charge. We're going for Charge, going for Temple Archives into Charge or Archon. This is going to be an earlier attack for Shameless. This may just be a reaction to what just happened. Again, Shameless, he lost so much already here that he has to commit into something. He can't just play out a regular game, as YoungYakov is free to drone up as heavily as possible. So the pressure is on Shameless. There we go. Yep, Prism's on the way, getting ready to move out, getting ready to be active on the map. Back at home, YoungYakov is droning, saturating. He's getting up to, so far, over 3 base saturation. Now, is YoungYakov being too greedy? Shameless, there's a window in time where he can commit to an all-in, and where YoungYakov is going to be a little bit vulnerable. You can see YoungYakov is taking up. We have the Infestation on the way, Hydrogen on the way. This tells us YoungYakov, he wants to go into a Hive, he wants to go into Lurkers, he wants to rush into that tech, but he does go for a safety Roach Warren. Roach Warren was thrown down, so he's playing it safe. He's producing a couple of roaches, so he's going to be relatively safe here to the Charge push. As we're not moving out with Charge, we're just moving out with an Archon drop. So the Archon drop is moving in. Charge and +1 are going to finish up, but we don't have any reinforcements here. We don't have any warp-ins. Just moving out with the Archons. Oh. Clutch Transfuse. Clutch Transfuse. There's that Hive on the way. Again, YoungYakov is rushing into Lurkers. Here comes the Warping of Charge. Let's see. Wants the Queens at least. Does want them. The Queen does go down. Queen gets picked up. Going for another. As the second Queen should also go down. And yeah, it will fall. So these pickups are pretty good here for Shameless. Picks off the Queens. That means no anti-air. Going for another Warp in. Shameless trying to press his advantage again, catching out more of these roaches. Like, imagine a world where there were no roaches. Imagine a world where YoungYakov did actually skip his Roach Warren. He'd be in trouble right now. And even now, drones are going to be going down, getting 5 worker kills. Nice attack here. But the Archon does get away. 1 does fall. And Yakov holds. Yakov, he does hold on. Again, thankfully, he did make safety roaches. Thankfully, he did not cut too many corners. And now he's able to safely get into his Hydras. Yes, he lost 2 Queens and 5 drones. That was good damage at YoungYakov, but that could have been so much worse. And what's scary here is that YoungYakov defends And the Lurker Den's on the way. And the Hive is almost done. Like, he's almost reaching his final form. We spoke about it. He was cutting corners in a sense. He was taking up very heavily. Did play it safe by making those roaches. And in the end, worked out very well for him. And now he's ready for Hydra upgrades. For Hive upgrades, I should say. For Lurker upgrades. And this is where Shameless didn't commit to any kind of all-in. That was an aggressive push, don't get me wrong, that is true, but Shameless, he expanded, got a 4th base, he took his gases as well, he's going into double Robo Immortal production, he decided not to commit to an all-in, and now we're working towards Sky Toss. Fleeping is on the way, we're going to play out a longer game state. Now, coming into this longer game, I do favor YoungYakov. I do think he has a stronger economy, a better economic setup coming into this. He's going for the gold base as well. YoungYakov massing up his Ling Hydra. Again, getting ready for his Lurkers. There's going to be a window in time here where YoungYakov is going to have Lurker tech, as we already see Lurkers morphing in, and Shameless will not have Sky Toss. So YoungYakov is going to have a big tech advantage here. You can see him setting up a wall of spine crawlers to defend against Zelarambai. Zelarambais can be brutal, for sure. Can be brutal. And Yakov is securing himself. He's securing himself here on these 5 bases. Second Stargate's on the way, Mothership as well. We're still building up more Lunkers. But now YoungYakov just turtling up. How many Lurkers? So far 5, soon to be 6 Lurkers. Lurker upgrade's almost done. The Vipers are topped up. And we go for the Nidus. Now there is an Overseer here in between the bases, so there's potential for Nidus play towards the main. And if the Nidus gets up and running unscouted, I mean that can be game. That is a way to end things. Okay, Lurkers, they unbar it. They move out with the main army. Likewise, what do they have to defend? Shameless, he is on 6 Immortals, 3 Archons. The army here is quite hefty, but Storm is not ready. Uh-oh. Storm is still not done. Can feedback though. It does feedback despite that. Oh, 2 Archons go down. Still better pickups here for YoungYakov. You see Overseer going into the main. Does get vision. Shameless, he pulls back. Let's pull back. There we go. Nidus into said main base. YoungYakov trying to keep the main army busy. Shameless, no reaction, no response, no warp in. Oh no. Yeah, no warp in. And what's inside the what's inside the Nidus? The Lunkers. The Lurkers are inside. And they do pop out. So going straight for the main, straight for the production. Lurkers, they can cover the mineral line. There is the Mothership, but the last detection is here. Going for the recall. Oh no, High Templar! No! High Templar! Get out of here! Oh my god, brutal pickups, losing all 3 High Templar, all 4 High Templar. One barely does escape. At the same time, YoungYakov moving in, and he does pull Shameless apart. He has been broken. Again, the main base is on fire. Forced to recall, High Templar went down. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, it's one of those things where when it comes to these events, when it comes to this kind of game state, one Nidus can end the game. We've seen that in ZvP, we've seen that in ZvT as well. Nidus swarms can be brutal, especially when Lurkers are involved. And unfortunately, Shameless, he barely did miss that Nidus. He wasn't able to react in time, wasn't able to respond. GG. GG, well played. If he did deny the Nidus Swarm with like a Warping of Zealots, then he would have been able to maintain his position, defend the 4th base, and the game would have progressed. The game would have kept on going from there, and we would have been able to sink our teeth into a longer ZvP, but not this time. Not this time, as YoungYakov takes the lead, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our red Zerg player. We have our red Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Go. So we are coming down, we are settling in. Like, I know YoungYakov winning 2v2 tournaments in the past. Yeah, YoungYakov, he does play a lot in the like CIS region 2v2 events. In the StarCraft Evolution 2v2 tournaments as well. YoungYakov, he usually pairs up with Jumi. YoungYakov, he is the replacement Zurich player that Jumi did pair up with, as opposed to Iba. So YoungYakov and Jumi, they often play together. And YoungYakov, he is one of the few players that has embraced not just StarCraft Evolution, but Warcraft 3 Evolution as well. If you've been tuning into Kung Fu Cup Warcraft 3 Evolution, you will know that YoungYakov, he has been popping off, has been looking very impressive, and is our most recent champion as well. Something that I wasn't really expecting, to be honest. It was also relatively recently that they had a kind of a boot camp. They rented a team house or like a setup together. I say they. It was, can I name them all? It was Milky Cow, YoungYakov. Was Shameless there as well? There were like 5 players. Milky Cow and YoungYakov, I can say for certain. Art, right? Art was there. I want to say Def Mars. And either GG Machine or Shameless, but yeah, there was like a team of 5 players. This was maybe last month. They all did boot camp together, which was really cool. They stayed together for, I want to say, like a week or so, gearing up and preparing. And a lot of them have shot up in skill as a result, of course. Now we are going to be moving out. Yeah, dipping in. So far, nothing crazy. Just Hatch got spool send the opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, Gate expanded Cybercore out of Shameless. Going for a Stargate opener. As we mentioned, we don't really expect Shameless to deviate too much. I say that last game, Shameless did go into an earlier Archon timing and earlier charge timing as well, which was relatively successful. Remember, 2 queens went down, 5 drones went down as well, and if YoungYakov had skipped his Roach Horn, then he would have been in trouble. If you remember, Shameless, I'm pretty sure part of the reason why he went for that, 1, he lost his Oracles, but 2, if you remember, he saw the early Evo Chamber, which screamed Ling Hydra. Of course, YoungYakov, he went for a later Roach Horn just to be safe. So we'll see how our players do adjust. Shameless is moving out. There we go. Oh, also, there we go. I just found the tweet. It was Milky Cow, YoungYakov, Arts, which I didn't mention, and I was struggling between Shameless and GG Machine. It was both. So there's a reason why they both came to mind. So it was Shameless, GG Machine, YoungYakov, Art, and Asmodee, not Def Mars, that did boot camp together. This was back in March. So last month. So yeah, but I mean, both YoungYakov and Shameless were a part of that. Both practicing together. So far, it does claim his third. This time being a little bit more careful with the Oracles. We do have our Forge and Twilight Council on the way. We're expecting +1 and Blink, but remember, last game we did see a charge-based opener instead. Lings, they will hit the expansion. Adepts do warp in. Adepts, they should be able to hold their own. I say that one Adept is going to go down. Oh, does get one. Likewise, Oracles, they poke in across the map of the Queens. They will deflect. I set up here from YoungYakov. YoungYakov this time going for a faster lair. Remember, last game it was Evo Chamber first into +1 melee. This time it is lair first. Ooh, and 1 Oracle goes down. That should not have happened once. I mean, thankfully not 2 Oracles, but regardless, 1 Oracle does fall. Better trade here for YoungYakov. He does not lose any drones, not yet. This has not been worth it for Shameless. His Oracle control this series has been lacking. Dipping further in. Gets 1 drone. Gets 1. Pulls away. There's finishing up. Now with this faster layer, we could turn this into +1 range. I was gonna say +1 range into a fast Hydra Den, into a Hydra based all-in. Here melee is still being researched, but this is later melee for YoungYakov. And this does lead into Hydras. Now, unlike the previous game where we saw +1 melee into Ling Roach Hydra, this time straight up Ling Hydra. So this time we are skipping the Roach Warren. If Shameless were to go for his charge and Archon push again, he would have a lot more success. As we can see, standard game. +1 in Blink Stalkers, not +1 in charge, so alas, this time he does go for a more standard build-up or a standard game. And YoungYakov, he will not be punished for skipping tech. So coming into this, YoungYakov is in a better position. He sniped the first Oracle. He will get away with cutting corners. He's going for a 4th expansion and now building up his Ling Hydra. So far, he's cutting workers at 3 base saturation. He's double expanding, but we'll see if YoungYakov drones. Otherwise, he might just commit and double down to purely maxing out into a 3 base all-in. Shameless, he rallies over towards the would-be 4th base. Hydras are building up, Lings are amassing. Do you see YoungYakov going for a massive counterattack? And he will look to deny the 4th. Pylon goes down. Hydras stepping in. And the Lings, they take down the Pylon. They're going for the expansion. YoungYakov, he will lose the base, but remember, he double expanded. He can't afford to lose it. And on top of that, he also denies the base of his opponent. Okay, 4th base goes down. Shameless catching some reinforcements, but they do trade back and forth. And this is what I was concerned about. YoungYakov, he has not been joining. He has a 4th base. He has not been joining. He's been amassing up nothing but Ling Hydra. +1 melee is done. Hydra range is done. Hydra speed is on the way. And YoungYakov is transferring here to the base, but he is not joining up at all. He's setting up for one big push. And again, he's up against pure Blink Stalker. Like Ling Hydra, they thrive against Blink Stalkers. Charge is going to help, is going to be quite a good supportive unit here for Shameless. But he has no Archons. He has no Archons, he has no Storm. Doesn't have the best setup here against pure Ling Hydra. Yeah, and here comes YoungYakov. Revelation gets eyes on the army. YoungYakov trying to bait the army onto creep. Overlord speed on the way. Let's catch one. And I believe with Overlord speed, we can set off with some Doom Drops. So they catch another Stalker. So keep an eye on said Overlords. For now, going right down mid. Yep, speaking of Doom Drops, there it is. The Drop Lords are on the way. Oh, you don't get Overlord speed without Drop Lords. Not in this matchup. So you see YoungYakov started stepping forward. Catching out a couple of Stalkers, a lot of Stalkers going down. Drop Lords are moving in. And the Stalkers, they trade, they kite relatively well, but that's what the purpose of the Drop Lords are going to be. Going for a drop into said main base. Oh yeah, YoungYakov does cause a distraction. Oh. Stasis goes off. Drop Lords on the way. Once again, a lot of Soldiers do go down to the Hydras, and he is able to trade somewhat well here, but the Zealots are running out, and the Drop Lords are diving into the main. Pure Ling into the main base, and YoungYakov, he pulls away. Zealots, they do hit the 4th base. Drones are going to be going down. A very successful Zealot run by. At the same time, we'll force a recall. Let's force a recall into the main. 10 probe kills. Lings, they can trade against the Stalkers. Can somewhat trade. They have +1. And YoungYakov now is forced to drone. He had no intention to. He was 3 base all in. Now he's droning. Hive is on the way. Infestation Pit does finish. And now we're taking into lurkers. The game will progress. So coming into this kind of game state here, it's pretty shaky. 10 probes were killed, true, but 6 drones were also killed. The worker counts are actually quite close. And Shameless, he does build up his 4th. His 4th is up and running. Shameless, he's not in a bad position here, but tech-wise, that's where he's struggling. Specifically, Hive is on the way, Lurker Den's on the way. We're getting into Lurker tech. YoungYakov is almost there. Meanwhile, Shameless, he's just now getting to his Robos, just now getting to his own Immortal and Archon production. Right now, he's working with purely a gateway army. Stalkers are deflected. We have more Zealots amassing here for Shameless. Going for a Zealot run by. Actually coming back. Joining up with the main army. Lurker Den is done. And now YoungYakov, you can focus on the Lunkers, and there it is. 13 Lurkers on the way. That's a lot of Lunkers, papi. That's a lot of Lunkers. And it's purely a gateway army. Again, no Immortals, no Archons, no Storm. Shameless, he has a large force, and if it was purely Ling Hydra, then I'd be concerned for YoungYakov. But knowing that Lurkers are here, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. Here we go. We do trade out some Lings. The base is going to fall, but the Lurkers are here. YoungYakov is knocked down to 3 bases. I mean, his economy is going to be struggling. True. The whole position! Oh, no! Oh, he's holding on! He's holding! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus. A massive catch. Goes to the attack move. He shuts down almost every single Stalker. YoungYakov, calm down. The whole position Lunkers. Something you don't see too often, I'll be honest. Something that we should see more often, and there we go. With that, Shameless, he plummets in supply. He lost everything. Oh my God. He held it in, papi. He held it in. And with that, Shameless, he just lost everything. Just lost everything. He has Zealots remaining. That is true, but this main army is terrifying. And he has nothing left. Remember, he had purely a gateway composition. No Immortals, not yet. No Storm, no Archons. Zealots, they will get across the map. We're going for a bit of a base trade. These Zealots, they will pose a threat. That's a lot of charge lots. And we're going for the base trade. We're committing. Main army pushes through the center. Meanwhile, Lurkers, they do hit the 4th base. Zealots, they're busting in. And a lot of drones are going to be going down. Yeah, we're going full base trade mode. We have a Dark Shrine on the way. Okay. I mean, that's the way to conduct the base trade. Drones, they do get saved inside the Nidus Worm. Nidus across the map. So workers, they can evacuate. More Lurkers morphing in. And we have 1 Overseer. Just the 1. Just the 1 Overseer. Hydras, they peel off into the main. Lurkers pushing in towards the final mining base. These Zealots are doing a lot of damage. They kill 47 workers and more bases are going down. That's a kill, another cancel. YoungYakov does have enough for another base, another expansion. Once again, he's just building on more resources. Drones are here. Again, they can throw down an expansion. The Dark Shrine is not yet done, but it's going to finish. Yeah, the Dark Shrine, he does leave it alone. But he does have gateways, does have warpins. Meanwhile, where is that expansion? I mean, they still have space, it's true. He still has expansion, still has hatcheries, Zealots are racing back home. We do see Shameless making a final stand here at his northern expansion. At his northern base. Oh. Some of the Lurkers. Lurkers do hold. Dark Shrine is done, but Shameless is supply blocked. He cannot warp in. And remember, there's still 1 Overseer. Meanwhile, Charge will say race back. It's going to be a 1 base economy here for Shameless. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, he does go back home with that Nidus. He also has a 1 base economy as well, as he has no drones in the main or at the natural. So 1 base versus 1 base. But we have Mass Lurker and YoungYakov. He just evacuates. He gets the hell out of here. Ooh, he doesn't lose anything. Does not lose his army. So what do we have left? We have 1 gateway in the main. We have gateways on the way. No gateways yet, so this army's not getting any larger. The Dark Shrine did survive, so we could warp in some Dark Templar. That is true. But now there's an economy. There's still that 1 Overseer. Shameless moving in. Let's go to 29 Zealots. That's a lot of Zealots. But likewise, he's moving into 12 Lurkers. Unfortunately, the base trade was the best chance here for Shameless, and he didn't kill enough bases. He did not kill enough bases here. Did not kill enough expansions. YoungYakov scouts with the Overseer. He has 2 more back at home, just in case. So he has detection. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for YoungYakov. Just because he has rebuilt his Lurker Den, now he has saturation, and soon he can build up even more Lurkers. Goes off a couple of links to go for a run by. Maybe even force a recall. Oh. True, there's only one observer. So YoungYakov, he can also try to snipe that observer as well. That would be a way to shut this down. Oh! He wants it! No! Gets the observer! Observer goes down. 0 detection now for Shameless. Lings, they do slip into the mineral line. To slip in again. Shameless, he did have the better economy at one point. Again, he was on 4 bases compared to the 3 base setup of YoungYakov, but he was slowly outscaled. And now what's he down to? He's down to 6 probes. I mean, imagine this game if he had detection, if he wasn't caught by the whole position lurkers. True, like that was a brutal moment. Contamination. Let's go. Contaminates the expansion. Shameless still trying to build up. I mean, he has extra gateways. He can warp in. So he's on 32 zealots. Viper's arrived. I mean, we can just abduct one, I guess the Archons. I was gonna say one Stalker at a time, which is also true. Could do that as well. Add this into the main. DT does warp in. And there was maybe potential earlier with Dark Templar, but not so much anymore. So we'll get a couple of drone kills. 2 workers going down. We have the robo on the way, as remember there is 0 detection, so we need an observer. Things they focus on the Dark Shrine. Once again, they get into the mineral line. Shameless, he races back home. Lings, they're going for the robo. No shot. No shot. I mean, these are plus wins, but there we go. They force a cancel. Still no detection. From the side of YoungYakov, there's nothing pressuring him to move out. I should also emphasize that. YoungYakov, he's on a quote-unquote 3 base economy here. He's saturating his mining, his chilling. He can take another base. The problem with him moving out, especially if he moves out with too much, is that we could end up another base trade scenario, and YoungYakov, he could potentially lose that. So there's no reason to move out. Right now, he's in control. He can just calm down, get a 4th base up and running, and look to max out. Like, the army of Shameless can still threaten bases and can still cause some kind of crazy scenario here with a base trade. But at least YoungYakov is being active with those Lings. He did clean up all the buildings in the main. And once again, he goes to the robo. The robo! No! The robo is cancelled once again for a 2nd time. And there we go. Nidus does complete. Now with the Nidus, we can more easily go back and forth. As lurkers are pushing in, and Shameless, he does turn around. But now he sees all the lurkers. He has to give it to the base trade. There's only, what, 2 lurkers to defend, which means the army can just ignore them. I mean, they have to. Oh, I say that, lurkers. Yeah, they just bounce back and forth. Where are you going? Wherever Shameless turns, there's lunkers, Bobby. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. And now he can miss. Now he turns back around. Now the lurkers move in. The Nidus is going to be cleaned up, which means there's no way back home. But we have another Nidus, and yeah, GG gets called, outpositioned. YoungYakov, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. YoungYakov, he will claim the series. Again, a very intense game here, though definitely moments and opportunities for Shameless, especially here in game 2. Do you think that game 1 was more one-sided? Game 1 was more Shameless failing to deal early game damage, and we saw YoungYakov get away with a lot of greed. Here in game 2, there was more of a back and forth. Shameless, he was knocking down bases, knocking down expansions, but we saw the big explosive moment when he wandered in between the bases onto a massive field of lurkers without knowing, and of course the whole position lurkers, they became active. GG well played, just obliterated the army, and that's when the snowball started rolling in favor of YoungYakov. GG well played. With that, YoungYakov, he will claim the series, and now we're going to be following or jumping into another quarterfinals match. Up next, we have another PvZ between Strange and GG Machine. Let's go.